Let's now bring in Rebecca Koffler, who is a U.S. intelligence expert born in Russia. And Rebecca, I'm just looking at a map of Ukraine right now and the explosions that have been heard around the country in Kharkiv, Mariupol, Odessa, and Kyiv. That means that there are explosions in the north, east, south, and central Ukraine. Are you surprised by this strategy from Vladimir Putin? And what is his next move?
Oh, I'm absolutely not surprised. This is something that Putin has been planning for the past 20 years. It's part of a larger master plan to ensure that post-Soviet states are returning back under Moscow's control. And so this is what we are seeing right now unfolding is Putin's playbook. What I expect next is massive cyber attacks, electronic warfare, space warfare, air and missile bombardments of key military command and control government targets, and I would not even rule out a decapitation strategy to force Zelensky to flee. That is how Putin operates.
Wow. Putin warned that interference with Russia's invasion would lead to, quote, consequences you have never had in your history. Rebecca, what does he mean by that?
This was clearly a threat that Putin articulated last night in his speech in which he authorized, and I quote, special military operation against, he said, eastern Ukraine. He's basically telegraphing to the United States and NATO to stay out of it. And if they don't, Putin has prepared a 5-point plan in which he would go all the way to a shooting war with the U.S. and NATO, including launching nuclear strikes in Europe. And that is a de-escalatory strategy in Putin's mind. And we knew that in the intelligence community. And unfortunately, our Washington establishment security establishment has not prepared for this, and this is a real tragedy.
Okay, so just to follow up, you are saying that Putin's threat to the U.S. and NATO countries isn't just, I'm going to attack you cyber-wise if you interfere. You say he is threatening actual man-on-man, woman-on-woman, person-on-person combat, correct?
That is absolutely correct. This is exactly what my book is about, Putin's playbook, Russia's secret plan to defeat America. Putin has developed a very sophisticated strategy that the Russians call asymmetric or new generation warfare. And if the Russian intelligence interprets or even misinterprets U.S. and NATO actions as offensive instead of defensive, then Putin can authorize a preemptive doctrine, which includes both kinetic and non-kinetic options.
We're hearing that the EU is going to hit Russia with a sanctions package like they've never seen before. The U.S. is also going to announce additional sanctions. You are saying some pretty scary stuff right now. How can what you're saying be avoided?
Unfortunately, Carly, we're at the 11th hour right now. The sanction policy has been quite foolish and really not grounded in reality. The same people who have been crowing that Russia is a gas station masquerading as a country and the Russian GDP is the size of Italy somehow expect that sanctions are going to stop Putin from executing his master plan that he's been hatching for 2 decades. Well, that's not how it works. The amount sanctioned is minuscule. Russia's GDP is $1.48 trillion. And this is not something that is going to make a difference. And besides, Putin has been sanction-proofing his economy ever since the first sanctions hit Russia back in 2014 after he chopped off Ukraine's Crimea.
Okay, Rebecca, then what does stop Putin at this point?
At this point, unfortunately, short of risking going to war with Putin, I am very I'm very worried to say that nothing will stop him because, again, Putin has been preparing for 2 decades for this, and he's been watching very carefully U.S. operations for the past 2 decades in Iraq, Afghanistan, Kosovo, and they have concluded that every aspect of our warfighting style is highly dependent on technology. And they have developed a strategy that includes cyber and space warfare options that hit exactly at the vulnerabilities of the U.S.
Chilling words.
Yeah, Rebecca Koffler, thank you so much for those warnings. Very important this morning.